Chapter 2. Spokesman Dawn, the machine's executive officer, sitting beside Administrator Bradshaw at the transparent desk on the raised platform to Menisi's left, had enclosed the area about the prisoner with a sound block and was giving a brief verbal resume of the background of the situation. Few of the directors in the tribunal hall would have needed such information, but the matter was being carried on the Grand Assembly circuit, and in hundreds of auditoriums on Earth, the first and second echelons of the officials of the machine had gathered to witness the interrogation of the Mars convict spy. The penal settlements on Mars had been established almost a century earlier for the dual purpose of mining the mineral riches of the fourth planet and of utilizing the talents of political dissidents with a scientific background too valuable to be wasted in research and experimental work considered too dangerous to be conducted on Earth or requiring more space than could easily be made available there. One of these projects had been precisely the development of more efficient space drives to do away with the costly and tedious maneuverings required for travel even among the inner planets. Work of such importance, of course, was supposed to be carried out only under close guard and under the direct supervision of the reliable upper echelon scientists of the machine. Even allowing for criminal negligence, the fact that the Mars convicts were able to develop and test their star drive under such circumstances without being detected suggested that it could not be a complicated device. They did, at any rate, develop it, armed themselves and the miners of the other penal settlements, and overwhelmed their guards in a surprise attack. When the next ship arrived from Earth, 2 giant ore carriers and a number of smaller guard ships had been outfitted with the drive, and the Mars convicts had disappeared in them. Their speed was such that only the faintest and briefest of disturbances had been registered on the tracking screens of space stations near Mars, the cause of which remained unsuspected until the news came out. Anything which could have thrown any light on the nature of the drive naturally had been destroyed by the deserters before they left, and the few machine scientists who had survived the fighting were unable to provide information, though they were questioned intensively for several years before being executed. What it added up to was that some 18,000 sworn enemies of the machine had disappeared into space, equipped with an instrument of unknown type which plainly could be turned into one of the deadliest of all known weapons. The superb organization of the machine swung into action instantly to meet the threat, though the situation became complicated by the fact that rumors of the manner in which the Mars convicts had disappeared filtered out into the politically dissatisfied on Earth and set off an unprecedented series of local uprisings which took over a decade to quell. In spite of such difficulties, the planet's economy was geared over to the new task, and presently defences were being devised and being constructed which would stop missiles arriving at speeds greater than that of light. Simultaneously, the greatest research project in history had begun to investigate the possibilities of either duplicating the fantastic drive some scientific minds on Mars had come upon chiefly, it was concluded, by an improbable stroke of good luck, or of matching its effects through a different approach. Since it had been demonstrated that it could be done, there was no question that in time the trained men of the machine would achieve their goal. Then the armed might of the machine would move into space to take control of any colony established by the Mars convicts and their descendants. That was the basic plan. The task of developing a star drive remained a huge one because of the complete lack of information about the direction organized research should take. That difficulty would be overcome easily only by a second unpredictable twist of fortune, unless one of the Mars convicts' FTL ships ventured close enough to Earth to be captured. The last had now happened. The ship had been destroyed before it could be investigated, so that advantage was again lost. The ship's pilot, however, remained in their hands. The fact that he disclaimed having information pertinent to the drive meant nothing. So far as he knew, he might very well be speaking the truth. But he had piloted a ship that employed the star drive, was familiar with instruments which controlled it, and had been schooled in their use. A detailed investigation of his memories could not fail to provide literally hundreds of meaningful clues. And the machine scientists, in their superficially still fruitless search for the nature of the drive, had, in fact, covered basic possibilities with such comprehensive thoroughness that a few indisputably valid clues would show them now what it must be.